everybody, this is Ilana Michelson from ilanamichelson.com, and today I'm in something that's not the parking lot. It's actually meant for, I think, firefighters or fire engines or things like that if they need to. So it's kind of empty, but you can still hear all the beautiful voices of children in the background because this is a big area. You can see the big apartment buildings, and I guess there's lots of children who live here, which is all beautiful and great. Hope you can hear me clearly over their voices. And what I wanted to talk to you about was what Dean Graziosi calls the Underdog Effect. And I'll go a little bit back. When I was a little girl, my father used to tell me when I would eat soup, and you know how like little kids sometimes they blow on their soup and then they slurp it up in their spoon, and he'd say, don't slurp your soup, because if you slurp your soup, you're going to go on a date, and you're going to slurp your soup on a date, and then your date won't want to go out with you again. Now, I actually find that really funny that he told me that, because this is the man who on his first date with my mother took his cake, dunked it into his coffee, and said, does that bother you that I dunked my cake into the coffee? And my mother, who had a father who had no teeth, said, no, not at all. My father does it all the time because he can't chew without doing that. So here's the interesting thing. When you've experienced certain things, those things don't tend to faze you nearly as much as if you haven't experienced them beforehand. Now, obviously, my father had no problem with dunking his cake into the coffee, but slurping soup, no, that he wasn't used to, so that he couldn't do. But I will vouch for and say that people who have slurped their soup probably wouldn't care nearly as much. Maybe some of them would, some of them wouldn't. I think it all depends on the person and not anything else. But from the time that I was little, I used to have to wait long times for other people, such as for my sister, for my brother, for my father. It was like a known thing that every time we'd all get into the car, my father would forget something, he'd go back into the house, and we'd all be sitting in the car waiting for him to come back out. Now, each of us dealt with this a little bit differently. I think my sister used to get a little bit more upset. My brother would just bring a book with him and he'd just read, and I'd just play with the fantasy worlds inside my head. But as I got older, I guess I didn't yet get the message, and I had my sister who still used to keep me really late. And sometimes we'd, make a birthday party at the zoo, and I'd get there with my kids, like, the hour that we set up, and I'd have to wait there 45 minutes to an hour. And ended up we'd only have 15 minutes left in the zoo because the zoo was about to close, and that was a birthday party, 15-minute birthday party, because we waited for an hour. Eventually, I learned how to deal with that as well. I tapped out all the angst that I had about the fact that I was waiting for her, and then I would say to my kids, all right, either we can, go early, we'll go around, look at everything that we want, and then we'll come back and meet them whenever they come, or we can just come late too. And some of the times they chose to come late, and the interesting thing is usually every time they chose to come late, my sister would actually come on time, which was really pretty funny, and she'd say, why are you so late? And you were late every single other time. This is the one time that we're late, this time you come on time. But that's okay, that's not the story of it here. Basically what I'm trying to say is that when your relationship with anybody, be it with your friends, be it with your partner, be it with your parents, be it with your siblings, or be it with your children, being accepting, being flexible, being able to step back and say, all right, they couldn't make it, I could get angry or I cannot get angry. If I get angry, I'm just gonna hurt myself. If I don't get angry, I'll just go enjoy myself, do something else. Be it bring a book with me and read, be it go take her walk, or be it I'll just come later and then I'll meet them when they come in any case. And that's actually a much better way to be, because then you don't have all that anger up there. You don't build up the anger. The resentment isn't built up, because when the resentment builds up over the years, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, till at some point it explodes out. And then it's not a pretty scene for anybody. And it could explode out in the form of you just exploding at the other person. It could come out in the form of some sort of disease or sickness, or whatever, that's because that's hidden inside your body, and the mind follows the body, and the body follows the mind. Or any other way, I don't know the other ways that it could be. But my point is that take those times, tap it out, spin it out, dial it out, talk it out, do whatever it is that you do to release whatever bad feeling you're feeling inside, and then just do something else that's good for you. Because you're not going to change the situation anyway. You're going to keep being late, probably. You're going to have to keep dealing with it, probably. So you might as well find a way to deal with it in a good way. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. This is almost the end of the holiday. Getting a little bit sad over here about that, but all is good. End of another beautiful holiday. They had a great time with my kids. I really enjoyed having them all home with me this year. And remember, if you haven't given me a like, I love to get those hearts. Thank you for giving me the heart over there. I really appreciate it. And if you're watching on YouTube, the likes button and the subscribe button and that little bell notification so that you'll know every time I make a new video. And remember that I'm here to make the whole world happy, 1% at a time, starting with myself. And as I'm happy, it ripples out to everyone around me. And they feel it, and they send it out, and they send it out. So slowly but surely, the whole world gets happy. And I'd also like to keep as many couples as happily married as I can, so they don't have to go through the same anguish that I went through my divorce. Anyway, take care. Everything's always going my way. Have a great day, morning, evening from Milan Madison.